Hello, everybody. I'm CJ, the comment artist, and today I'm going to be doing my first reaction video. Today to the latest Grand Line review video. It's about all the plans for One Piece and 2026. Now let's get back. Now let's get to it.
Eiichiro Oda has just revealed the island that we are heading to right after Elbaf. He's also stated that the Burn Scar Man will appear in the manga in 2026, as well as teased that those two characters will finally meet, and given us new information about the Wit Studio remake, a new One Piece movie film, the upcoming Elbaf anime, and next year's season 2 of the live action, including a new look at live action Chopper. So all of the everything that
Okay, so a lot of stuff basically. So gonna be really excited to see Democrat Manifest. Okay.
that I just said comes to us courtesy of Jump Festa, which is an annual Shonen Jump convention where Oda blesses us with a prophecy of events to come to fruition across the entire One Piece franchise. And just
Disclaimer. Yeah, remember correctly, not everything he says is good. It's gonna be there. It's gonna happen. Or maybe thinking about interviews that he has done. So, well, let's see. Let's see what Ian has to say first.
to make this incredibly clear, this video contains spoilers for the One Piece manga in 2026. So if you're
Yeah. So, spoiler. So, spoiler alert, guys.
you're someone who desires a completely pure existence, then you may very well be spoiled by what the author of The Fictional Pirates has to say here, but I do recommend that you stay anyway because we have a ton of amazing stuff to go over. So let us commence with Oda's message. To everyone attending Jump Festa, hello. Towards a brighter future for all, this is Omyaku da Myaku Ichiro. In preparation for writing this letter, I asked my editor to list everything we have planned for next year, and we ended up with a very long list of things that are coming up, but he tells me we can't talk about this, or this. I guess we can't.
Oh, I really wanted to talk about this. I really wanted to talk about this.
Say anything. So thankfully that last line is not true, and in fact this may be the most substantive Oda message that we've ever received at a Jump Festa. Oh, and as for why he refers to himself as Omyaku da Myaku Ichiro, this is because Oda often likes to comedically mispronounce his own name in increasingly convoluted ways in these messages, and this one is, I believe, a reference to the World Expo in Osaka this year, as the official mascot of the expo was this, whatever this is, named Myaku Myaku.
I think it's I think it's about some I think it's about some unknowns at home. They match together with the monster cookie, the cookie monster from Plus Sesame. You know which one there will be any there will be any there will be any the appearance screen any moment.
Who was described as a mysterious creature born from the fusion of cells and water. Its true identity remains unknown, which actually fits Eiichiro Oda quite well. He is a very private person who only tends to emerge from his manga cave once a year to address us. And Oda did once confirm in an SBS that he is an alien, so take that for what you will, but what I'm
And I will also ask, and then in that case I would like to ask, when is the invasion? We really need one.
gonna do is continue with the message. But looking at the list, it does look like many of our projects are aimed at a global audience. Needless to say, that includes Japan. The previously announced One Piece readaptation, The One Piece, is made for a worldwide audience and is well in progress. So this is the first.
Yeah, so I don't like the worldwide audience thing because usually worldwide audience includes a lot of censorship. So I remember correctly, they say they weren't gonna censor the anime, and I hope that hasn't changed. I hope that hasn't changed at all. So, but let's see what Oda has to say.
I guess we'll call it an update about the Wit Studio remake in quite some time. It was actually first announced 2 years ago at Jump Festa, and honestly, I'm a little bit disappointed to.
It's been 2 years. I feel like it was this year. Well, let's see.
Not get a real update of it this year. The last substantive update we had was in August 2024, when Netflix Anime posted an interview with the staff working on the show, and we did get quite a good look at a lot of really cool production stuff.
in August 24. Maybe that's why it doesn't really feel like a year has passed. It's only like not really 2 years. It's been like a year and a third, I think. If I'm doing the math correctly.
Definitely trying to temper my disappointment though, because I've got to remind myself, Liam, man on the internet, this is the one project that we do not want to rush. Because if we do, then it becomes no different from the Toei anime adaptation. I do want to address a weird rumor that's going around online though, which is that some dude on Twitter announced that the Wit Studio remake would be following the story of the Netflix live-action One Piece, and a truly bizarre amount of people have been picking this up and running with it, despite it having no verifiable source, and despite the fact that everything we've seen of the project so far disproves that. So there is that.
That's Twitter for you.
I don't think that's true. But speaking of the live action, Oda also has news for us on that front. And on March 10 next year, the live action One Piece Season 2 will finally launch. We'll finally get to see Chopper. Every time I see new scenes of him, I find myself saying, so cute. Next March, all of you will be saying the same thing. I hope you'll also enjoy seeing all of the quirky new cast members, as well as seeing how perfectly Iñaki and the others embody the Straw Hats. In fact, filming has already begun on Season 3, which will conclude the Alabasta saga. Please look forward to it. So here, Oda is confirming what we already suspected, which is that all
Under disclaimer, I haven't watched the live action adaptation because um, I know I know it's been well received and Liam has spoken well about it, but I don't really like some of the changes I heard they made, and I don't really have faith in Netflix that they're gonna keep it going, and they are not gonna change a lot of the stuff, and they're not gonna make big change that they're gonna make a lot of people angry. But I hope that I'm just being paranoid. But maybe I'll give it a shot before. Maybe I'll give season one a shot before season two comes out. Because it's going to be close to my birthday. Because by the way, a lot of stuff came out in March this year, and by my birthday. It's birthday. So like what's going on?
of Season 3 of the live action is going to be Alabasta. And in case you are unaware, Season 2 is set to end at Drum Island. And Netflix also released a Chopper teaser to go alongside Oda's message, and mate, I think he's looking pretty damn good. I know that the live action Chopper has been a bit controversial. I quite like him. I think he looks pretty adorable. But what this teaser did was a very cool thing by not just showing us the English voice of Chopper in the live action, but also Ikue Otani, the Japanese voice actress, recording her lines. And then we got to see the Chopper voice actors from all around the world, which is really fun. Because One Piece is such a global series, I would love to see more of this, to just have a compilation video of every Luffy, every Zoro, every Nami from all across the planet, etc. But live action One Piece, mate, it is rapidly approaching. Oda reiterated the March 10th release date, so we will actually have that before the Elbaf anime.
It makes you wonder why it hasn't been released. It hasn't been released yet. It was supposed to release this year, and I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, one of the producers, or I don't know, showrunners, uh, one of the showrunners lead the project, and that makes me a little concerned because if I remember correctly, that guy had a lot of influence in keeping the store and keeping the story on track with the manga, and I think and I so and I hope that's not that's not one of the reasons why this whole series is gonna fall. It's gonna it's gonna it's gonna fail at the end.
Anime is due to premiere, which is on the 5th of April. And look, I always have mixed thoughts on the live action. They do some things I like and they do some things I really don't like, but more One Piece is always a good thing no matter what form it comes in, and I am still very excited to see what they've done. And next up we have, I guess, some more anti-news, as Oda talks about the next One Piece movie. As for the new anime film, they haven't said I'm allowed to say this. I can't say it's going particularly well, but maybe saying this will light a fire under everyone, lol. But it's about something that I'm sure all of you will be very interested in, so I hope you'll wait patiently for it.
What I just hope is not. What I hope is that it isn't going to reveal some canon information that's going to be in the non-canon material, like the film Red stuff, because I'm not gonna lie, when that was the reason why one of the endings felt some rush, and we still feel like we had a lot of unfinished business. So I really hope this film is just gonna be like another strong war of Phil gone, just us, so such a crew punching another big bad is going to end the war with not significant with not significant reveals to the story. Because the twist that the Shanks was on all of war number was already spoiled with the release of film Red. So I really hope that's not going to be the case this time. I really hope that's going to be the case that they're going to release canon information that again in a field that is not canon.
Very interesting, because you don't often see Oda admitting that something isn't going very well. These messages, they're essentially glorified marketing tools. You know, in the beginning, Oda says, oh, the anime film staff haven't said I'm allowed to say this. I guarantee you they have. Even though these are Oda's words, they are quite rigidly structured for the betterment of the brand. I guarantee they've been approved by higher powers. But something is going on here, because for the first time that I remember, we have gone off cycle. The business plan is that there is a new One Piece movie every 3 years, or at least that's how it's been in the modern era since Strong World anyway. So we were actually due for a new movie.
When was film release? I think, yeah, one way ended like, I tried to think. Yeah, I think one ended like 3 to 4 years ago, maybe. I have to put the correct dates on the screen. And I remember correctly, I think Bill Red was the last film that we had from One Piece so far. And I don't think we have had any big specials or anything like that.
Movie to be released this year in 2025, because Film Red came out in 2022. But it does seem like they're having some pretty significant issues with the next one. And it's almost as if Oda is cheekily using this message to put public pressure on the film production to, you know, work their shit out and get things moving, because Oda is a very audience-focused author, and he might feel like he's disappointing fans to some degree by having them wait this long. He also says the movie is about something that we'll all be interested in.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really watched any of the films since film set. So I have no problem if we don't get another movie for a while. I had to call. Maybe I had to call out where the film releases, but as it's not canon material, I'm not really in a rush to do so. It's something all I really want, really hope so that makes us happy. I guess I hope everything turns out well at the end.
And I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical about that, because Oda says the same general thing about every movie. And the stories of past One Piece movies, you know, they're all right, I suppose. But whatever this film ends up being, it has the
That's actually the reason why I haven't watched any of that, because the films are basically the same since Strong War. Basically, Big Bad comes in, defeats Luffy in the beginning. Then we had to go. Then Lucy. Then we had to go then we had to go all the movie all the way to defeat the bad guy at the end. And I'm explaining myself correctly. But what's exciting about this movie is that we my scene that we get to see gear fit and movie form. So for and hopefully that will maybe that will get other that will get liberty to come up with some creative the attacks and techniques that we all hasn't been used in the manga. And maybe we'll see another form from Luffy, another power up. That's gonna be movie exclusive, like the Hell for Ichigo and the Hell Charter movie from Bleach.
Enviable task of trying to surpass film Red, which is not only the most successful film in the One Piece franchise by far, but also
Is it?
still currently the 8th highest grossing Japanese film of all time in general. So I really don't know what you do to top that, other than make One Piece Infinity Castle, because fans online have speculated that this film was delayed so that One Piece could finally make a canon movie, like a God Valley movie. And I would personally be very interested in something like that.
Okay. A canon movie. Well, I just hope they don't make the same thing they did when a lot of shonen when well, a few shonen manga, shonen jump mangas that I read, they made they made you have to go watch outside material for the manga to understand something that's going on in the main story, and I don't like that. It feels like homework. And it's dangerously approaching the NCU, the current state of the NCU, and I really hope that they start to get away from that. But who knows? Maybe this is gonna be good, and maybe canon. Maybe they're gonna use the term canon, but it looks like, yeah, this happens in the main story, but you don't have to really watch it to understand the rest of this how the story is gonna end.
I'm just not sure if the production committee would ever be comfortable making a One Piece movie without Luffy. But we'll see at some point. Not anytime soon, mind you, because this movie, it seems to be stuck in a pretty deep hole. But now we have the big stuff. Oda always saves the important manga talk for the very end, and here it is. Since this is Jump Festa, I should talk about the manga in Jump, after what you could call a very long flashback, or at least a little glimpse into history that
You could say that the manga's been going on since you can say that how the mangas have practically taken the I think most of the year the Loki flashback, and we still haven't got it. And I think in my estimations on Korea, I think we have at least 2 to 3, maybe more charges left for the flashback before we go back to the present and Elba.
I'm sure has given you a different perspective on Elbaf. We ended things with a bang, and now things are about to get crazy. Will we get to the island that only the King of the Pirates had previously reached? So that last line, and I don't know whether this is embarrassing to admit or not, as a man in his mid-30s, but that genuinely sent shivers down my spine reading that. Because it implies that after Elbaf, we are kind of done with One Piece as we know it. Because Oda is saying that we have our sights firmly set on Laugh Tale. Or is he? Now, I fully admit that what I'm about to say could just be massive cope, but that island may not necessarily refer to Laugh Tale, because there is more than one island that only the Pirate King has been able to reach. At the time of recording this video, as far as we are aware, the Roger Pirates are also the only crew who set foot on Lodestar Island, which is officially the final island in the Grand Line, the last one that you can reach with a New World log pose. Lodestar Island is the end of the Grand Line, and it's where Roger discovered
Yes, yes. So how that yes, so you remember so how that works is you have to travel you have to go all the way to the end of the New World to get to Lost Star Island to learn how to decipher the poneglyphs and get all the 4 red poneglyphs to find the location of Lapdale. So the we, but we already have Robbie who can read the poneglyph. So maybe that so I just assumed there was not gonna be reason to end out in that final island. Then maybe there's some other stuff we have. Then maybe something happens. The Robbie's gonna get kidnapped again. Hopefully not. No, the let's see what Oda has to. We have to wait and see what Oda has to plan, because another place I really want us to go is the moon. I really wanted to see Enel come back, not but not particularly by an episode, because I'm really curious about what secrets he discovers and the moon, the sky people and ancient civilization before they came down to the planet. So that's good. And really like we get to explore more of that before the story ends. But at this point, I'm not really getting my hopes up. Those are, I just hope we get something with an L.
that the poneglyphs existed, and that's what prompted him to start Fictional Pirate New Game Plus to scour the world again to find them all. It was first mentioned in chapter 820 by Inuarashi, but he also implied that there may not be a point in actually going there, because the Straw Hats already knew about the poneglyphs and were on their journey to Laugh Tale
like
as it is. So this doesn't necessarily mean that Laugh Tale is the next stop, it just means that the end is very much in sight. And I want to linger on that for a second, because it would mean that Elbaf is officially our last Kingdom arc. Kingdom arcs have been the bulk of the post-time skip era, and they see the crew arriving at a new island, meeting island-specific people, usually overthrowing some sort of evil monarch, then having a big party and making friends before moving on. Think arcs like Fishman Island, Dressrosa, Whole Cake Island, even though Big Mom wasn't defeated, definitely Wano, and of course now Elbaf. And it's really kind of scary to be leaving those behind. But we do need to do that because we need to start focusing on the Straw Hats and actually accomplishing their goals. But the end of Elbaf is going to trigger a very new era of One Piece, a final era. But I've also seen a fair few people take this message as some sort of confirmation that the Straw Hats will be going to Laugh Tale in 2026. And again, first up, I want to point out that Oda isn't necessarily speaking about Laugh Tale. It is a little vague. But also, don't get too excited about anything being said in this message actually happening in 2026. One of the
like I said, not a lot of the stuff the confront not a lot of Ola's plans, not a lot of Ola's plans turn out the way he wants it or in the time he wants it. Usually there's always usually there's something going on. He lets his imagination run wild, or he get health issues, or maybe some other stuff happens on the rails the trajectory of the show of the manga. But let's hope that this time he can stay lucky so he can finish the series with no issues.
trickier parts about reading these kind of cryptic notes is that Oda, he has no sense of time, and sometimes it feels like he's speaking to us from some point far, far into the future that we are not. Such as in this very message when Oda stated, after a very long flashback. I had to stop right there and go, what do you mean? After. The Elbaf flashback still hasn't ended yet. Now, to be fair, Oda does work 3 to 4 chapters in advance, so it is entirely possible that from his perspective, this flashback, it is done, but for us, we are still waiting.
Yeah. Yes, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 more chapters left.
For the conclusion of that flashback, which will be the...
By the way, if I'm wrong, feel free to make fun of me in the comments down below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel.
very first part of 2026, and then we've got to actually tackle the climax of Elbaf itself. All of that, it's going to take a while. 2026, I think it will be mostly, if not all, Elbaf. But let us continue, because more big things. The man with the burn scar will appear. Characters who'd never met before will finally meet. Another pair of characters will come face to face. I think next year will be a year of encounters. The story will be moving at a breakneck speed, but since I've aged, much to my chagrin, I'll take the liberty of maintaining my own health as we continue sailing next year at the fastest One Piece speed. Festivities ahead. Get ready for a spectacular year at Shiro Oda. So there.
Yeah, that's a thing I really want him to focus on, and his own health, because we don't want to go through our Robert Jordan situation, or soon to be George R. Martin situation.
That is a lot of promising being done at the end of the killer year.
And it was important for Oda to take care of himself. But I will say, maybe with all the stuff he's promising, maybe we will. A lot of the stuff he's promising, maybe we will. Maybe we will get another outside outside. It's like an head. We got this free comp. We have these three events that going on while Luffy and company were an egg. We gotta look at the outside world while Luffy and company were take care of stuff in Egghead. So maybe something like that is gonna happen again, or maybe we will get the or maybe the Alpha will end up sooner than we expect, and by some way, so play by half of the year, and the rest of the year will be war event stuff.
Shiro Oda. So there is a lot of promising being done at the end of the message here. And the one promise that I hope Oda actually manages to keep is the one about maintaining his health. Because I'm honestly not sure how many of the others are going to come true based on past Jump Festa messages. I will say that in regards to the speed of One Piece, way back at the beginning of Elbaf, we were warned in World not to stay on this island for too long. We had that ominous message from author Louis Arnaud to not overstay our welcome here. And we still don't know what that is all about yet, but perhaps Oda was building an in-world mechanic to kick himself in the butt and to get us off that island quicker than usual. I don't know though, I still have my doubts just based on the length of the arc so far, as well as how much there still is to do, which is the entire climax. Arc climaxes in post-time skip One Piece are not short segments of story. They tend to land somewhere between 20 to 30 chapters, with the range of Egghead Island being closer to 20, while Whole Cake Island was around 30, and Wano.
Yeah, so by that stands, by that stands, yeah, like I said, we'll get maybe in the next year we'll resolve the arc climax all the way into the last quarter, and the rest will be out out will be world events, catching up with world events.
Oh well, we don't talk about that because that arc climax took us 2 whole years. Elbaf is not going to be a Wano, but what I'm saying is that after the flashback is finished, we are still probably looking at about 20 chapters on the island to clean up everything else, which may involve fighting Imu, the Holy Knights, the Brook and Gunko story, finishing Loki's character arc, and whatever else needs to be wrapped up on Elbaf, whether it's that
I don't think we'll get a Gunko and Brook flashback story next year, or maybe not during the climax of Elba, but maybe after the climax. And yeah, this one I had to make a video about this mural over here.
Finishing Loki's character arc, and whatever else needs to be wrapped up on Elbaf, whether it's that 3,000-year-old laboratory, the mysterious owl Biblo, Robin finally seeing and maybe even deciphering the Elbaf mural alongside the Harley text, and more. There's other things. There's quite a lot to do. And while I trust that Oda will try to go as quickly as he possibly can, I also trust that he's not going to compromise the integrity of many of these threads. So if we do leave Elbaf in 2026, I think that it will be towards the end of the year. And I suppose that's when the opening does happen for all of the things he just said, such as the Burn Scar Man. Oda was not messing around by name dropping this guy. He flat out said that the Burn Scar Man will appear, which almost makes it sound like he's a character that we don't already know. Currently, Dragon and Scopogaban are the leading Burn Scar candidates, and 2025 had more appearances from both of them than in the entire history of the series combined. So according to this, it could be either someone that we've never met or someone who hasn't made an appearance in quite some time. But of course, the man with the burn scar kind of has to appear because he is a compulsory narrative event to attain that last road poneglyph. There is no going to Laugh Tale without him, so I'm more than happy to buy Oda's words here. And as for the rest of it, the part about the characters who had never met before finally meeting, and another pair of characters who will come face to face, the way this is written is so vague that it could be any number of things, but one way to read it is Luffy and Imu. They've never met before, and surely they are about to come face to face. Sun God God and see God, Joy Boy and sad shadowy man. But again, words like this are so vague that this prediction is going to come true no matter what. At some point next year, two characters who have not met before will indeed meet. And I think that Oda has said it in this way because he may have learned his lesson about being a little bit too specific in these messages. To give you an idea of the reliability of these messages, we are still waiting on events that Oda said would happen in past Jump Festa messages, and some of these run back years and years ago. For example, last year he said that there would be a great turmoil in the seas outside of Elbaf, which we haven't seen. I suppose what we have at least kind of heard about is the burning of Marijois, but that's not really happening on a sea. But the year before that, he said, the long-awaited clash between that person and that other person just might have an unexpected outcome, which is a clash that we never saw. And the year before that, he said, that guy and that guy are going to fight. It will be a story like that. If I had to give it a title.
Yeah, well, I also want to kick Kid. We haven't gotten also a resolution for what happened to Kid before the back in Ed Island. I'm still waiting for him to appear in this arc, or maybe at the end of the end of Elbaf. But yeah, so a lot of unfulfilled promises, and I really hope that I'm using the word hope too much in this video, I'm not. But I expect them at least a few things. I expect at least a few things come to fruition in this next year.
It would be great free-for-all fight. I hope nobody dies. So again, more of the that guy, and whatever was said there, it didn't happen. So I swear, every year Oda plans on drawing whatever this fight is going to be between that person, and every year he just doesn't get around to it. Stuff gets in the way. So maybe take some of what's being said here and said previously as more of a premonition for 2027 and beyond. But 2026 is definitely going to be the year of Elbaf, as the bulk of our time in the manga is going to be spent there. And as mentioned before, the Elbaf anime will be starting. And on that note, we got a teaser trailer for the Elbaf anime, which looks really cool. Although I will say that it's a teaser in the true sense of the word, because it only shows us stuff that takes place in Legoland Road's diorama. So it's kind of deliberately misleading us on what Elbaf actually looks like, just like what Oda did with the manga. But this is our first look at officially seasonal One Piece. Next year, the anime, it is switching its model completely, even though the end of this year with the other Egghead stuff is kind of seasonal. But we're only going to have 20-something episodes next year. I don't know if the full number has been confirmed yet, but this is something that I've wanted ever since I started this channel 10 years ago, so I'm very, very keen to see how things play out on the anime front.
Well, wait and wait and she'll receive. What you know, wait and she'll receive. Like the Bible, like I said, God does God gives you doesn't uh, I said God God works in mysterious ways and on his own God works in a mysterious way and on his own time. He won't give you what you want, but what you need and exactly when you need it.
Channel 10 years ago, so I'm very, very keen to see how things play out on the anime front. And as part of this, it was revealed that the recording for the Elbaf arc anime has begun as well, and that the Straw Hat voice actors took a photo to commemorate the occasion. And I have to say, so many of these voice actors just never seem to age. I swear they've mostly looked the same for the past 3 decades, but some keen eyes will notice that someone is missing. In this photo, we have but 9 Straw Hats, and part of this is because Kazuki Yao, the original voice of Frankie, announced his retirement at Jump Festa last year, which was very sad. But it is interesting that his replacement, Subaru Kimura, isn't in this photo. Maybe he just wasn't in the studio that day, but it does feel a bit like he's an outsider in this vocal family. Although he was present on the Jump Festa stage, where all of the Straw Hat voice actors were dressed in pink and antlers in honor of live-action Chopper, which is fantastic. I love this photo, and I love this group of people. But this was a pretty packed Jump Festa, and there's also some other bits and pieces that I'm going to go over in other videos, but you let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments below.
Yeah, so like I said, what I think is going to happen is that we'll get we'll we'll get the end of the Loki splashback in January, and the rest of the year would be it will be the climax of the story. Then we finish the conflict with with the Holy Knights, and by the end quarter of the next year we'll get some updates on the outside world. Bye.